My cargo is full of drugs! And I got my sweet mixtape. Ooh, yeah, that hits the spot. Oh shit, their minds abort the mission, abort the mission! Freelancer is a game from 2003. It's also a sequel to Starlancer from the year 2000. However, the story of Starlancer doesn't really matter for this game, so we're just gonna kinda skip it. Due to a large-scale war between the Alliance and the Coalition in our solar system, which is the driving focus of Starlancer, the Alliance is forced to evacuate the system. They barely manage to escape the Coalition with 5 sleeper ships and make their way to the Sirius sector. Eventually, they reach it and they spend about 800 years rebuilding civilization. Skipping to the present day, you play as Edison Trent, a former spacecraft mechanic who looked for fortune in illegal business. However, just as you're about to make the deal of your life on Freeport 7, the station is suddenly attacked and is destroyed within seconds. Trent manages to escape alongside a few others, including his business partner Lonigan, who was lethally injured by debris on Freeport 7. Without a ship and with no place to go, Trent looks for a job and finds Junko Zane, a Liberty police officer who gives him a ship and a mission. The rest of the story is rather cliché and the characters are mostly stereotypical for a sci-fi story. However, I personally haven't found any plot holes during this story, and quite honestly, I don't mind a cliché story if it either does something new with the established formula, or if it manages to tell a solid story that keeps me engaged and entertained. Freelancer tells a good story, nothing more and nothing less. The epilogue is disappointing though, as it ends on an unclear cliffhanger that is never resolved thanks to Microsoft quietly cancelling Freelancer's sequel. Thank you, Microsoft. The second reason why I want a sequel is because of the gameplay, or rather, the space combat mechanics. Maneuverability is fantastic in this game, as it offers a great dynamic for combat. One of your most important assets is your cruise drive, which takes a while to charge up, but it will be your primary method of traveling. You can also kill your engines, control your acceleration, you can activate a thruster for added speed, etc, etc. But it would all fall apart if the game wouldn't offer a good amount of ships and weapons, both of which are plentiful in Freelancer. While many equipable items are very similar at first glance, you will definitely see the differences in actual combat, and that's very good. If good things are overused, they become tedious and monotonous. Now it's still good, but you won't find them as enjoyable, and the combat unfortunately falls into that category. But there's one aspect of Freelancer where I don't mind. Quick background story. Freelancer was actually supposed to be Star Citizen. And when it failed, we had quite a lot of games that wanted to be the next Freelancer. Like Darkstar 1, for example. Anyway, the economy in this game was supposed to be changing constantly with the gaming world. But this feature is missing in the final product and, in my opinion, for the better. So why is it good that the economy is static? Because I don't want to fly across half the goddamn galaxy, only to find out that the prices have changed. Luckily, that's not a problem in Freelancer. However, that lack of variation that I mentioned, that's going to be an ongoing issue from the beginning to the end of the game. So is there anything besides fighting, traveling or trading? You have diary entries that summarize each event within the story of Freelancer from the perspective of Trent, which gives him some much needed characterization, and it's good. You can have a race during the story and that's it. Unfortunately, to halt your progress, you'll have to grind a handful of times in between the main story missions, and there are a bunch of ways you can do that. You can accept missions which are all just go there and destroy stuff. Or you can explore the serious sector. If this story allows you to do so, because the world is only fully opening up after you finish the main story. You will encounter random raids, different factions that fight each other, you can find secret equipment and more hidden lore goodies or jump holes, which serve as new pathways to new systems or as a shortcut around Sirius. Freelancer is controversial, and for very good reasons. All the criticism that was made at its release is still relevant today. But that doesn't mean that Freelancer is a bad game. It's a good game with a great soundtrack, but it's dragged down by not only its own potential and the advertisement that was behind it, but more so because of its heavy focus on combat, which does work well, but other areas have suffered in return extensively. I mean, you could grind materials for 4 hours. You play a 10-minute mission instead. So before I stretch this video out to be 20 minutes long, Freelancer is nothing amazing or great. It's nothing bad or horrible either. But personally, I had more joy with the story of Freelancer than with the entirety of the Risen series.
Sorry, I haven't gotten used to killing political figures on sight yet.
Trent, did he look like a human being to you?
I'm telling you,